My name is Kelsey. In addition to being a senior in the Governor's School program, I'm also on a KOM mentor, a member of the student council, and a member of the yearbook staff. Outside of school, I'm a black belt in martial arts, where I'm not only a student, but also a teacher. And I've been a Girl Scout for over 9 years. But the most important thing you need to know about is my family is my #1 priority. And that includes my little sister. When my little sister was 7 years old, she was diagnosed with a heart condition called supraventricular tachycardia, or SVT for short. The coming of this news not only impacted my family financially, but also emotionally. And that's why my little sister is the inspiration behind my senior project entitled Living to a Different Beat, Cardiovascular Medicine. Okay, I know what you're all thinking. What is SVT? Like I said earlier, it's a heart condition, but this causes your heart rate to beat more than the normal amount. A healthy adult male can have anywhere between 60 to 100 heartbeats per minute, while a child diagnosed with supraventricular tachycardia can have more than 200 beats per minute. This is over 3 times the amount of a normal heart rate. What happens is you need to understand the electrical heart system in a heart. So what happens is the yellow arrows represent the electrical pathways, and it starts at the SA node, which is the sinoatrial node, and then it's transmitted to the atrioventricular node. And this, when it hits the SV node, AV node, it causes the heart to pump blood from the atrium, which is the upper half, to the ventricles, which are the lower half. And then that sends deoxygenated blood, which comes in through the atriums to the ventricles, and then that oxygenates your blood, which causes your heart to pump. Okay, so this is what a normal heart is. So it sends it from the SA node to the AV node, and then it's gone. So these are like little movable visuals, I guess. So on your, that's your right, yeah. So on your right is a normal heart, while this one is a heart with supraventricular tachycardia. So what happens is the electrical waves get caught in a circle around your AV node, and that causes the heart to beat more than normally. And then that just causes the raised heart rate. And then these are 2 ECGs, or EKGs, they're interchangeable. The above is a normal heart rate, and then the below is the heart rate of someone diagnosed with SVT. So this shows you that it's more than 3 times the amount, because you can just, it's just helpful, I guess. This condition is seen in 89,000 patients in the United States, with more than 57,000 new cases reported each year. So for my research for cardiovascular medicine, I really wanted to focus on the treatments of this, or actually any type of arrhythmias, which just means there's an abnormality in the rhythm of a heart rate. So the most common treatments I've found are ablations, medicines, and then people who just don't use any treatment at all. SVT is found mostly in children, and most children are able to grow out of this, but there are some cases where it's found in adults, or where children just can't live with it because of either severe side effects or because of lifestyles. So my analysis paper was on why I believe that catheter ablation is the most successful and recommended treatment. So my first example was the risk factors. The risk factors of not receiving treatment, if you have major risks, include fatigue, dizziness, blackouts, and even more importantly, death. When my little sister had it, she had it in middle school, and that's when it started to get really worse. She would have these episodes where she was dizzy and her heart would beat so fast that she would have blackouts. And it got to the point where she would have them at school, and the school would send her home because they didn't have insurance for it. So she would be at school for an hour and then have to have a parent come pick her up, and that'd be counted as an absence. So she was missing all of this school time, education time, because of something she couldn't control. So But the risk factors that are found in catheter ablations are a lot less. The only major risks include infections at the sites of injection, where they put a catheter into the left side of your neck or the right side of your thigh, and it'll go into a vein and up into the heart. Okay? Another one is recovery time. The surgery for cardiac ablations are typically take from 2 to 4 hours, while the recovery are 3 to 6 hours, and the recovery time is 2 to 4 hours. Most of this is just you laying in a hospital bed, either on anesthesia or awake, but you can't move because they don't want you to risk bleeding from your injection area. So this is what most of your recovery time is. 90% of patients who have experienced catheter ablation have been able to return to normal day activities within 2 weeks of their surgery. This includes going back to work or going back to school and lifting heavy weights. This also includes being able to exercise daily. The next reason is cost. Now, the normal cost of a catheter ablation is about $15,000, and it can get up to about $50,000. And I know that sounds like a lot, but a majority of this money actually goes to the hospitals because they pay their technicians with this, but they also have to pay for the room that you are staying in, that operating room and that recovery room. So that's what most of this goes to. Now, I know that you think that medications would just be an easy alternative to the cost, but with a follow-up visit as well as spending 2 years on medications, you will have spent $14,000, which is almost the exact same as the very minimum of the cost for ablations. So add that up, and you're exceeding the amount of ablations by significantly. And the next one is the success rate. 90% of cardio arrhythmias have been corrected with catheter ablations. So, gotta be doing something. My internship was actually with my little sister's cardiologist at UVA Hospital. So I was allowed to go and I went to his clinic days. So I went 3 Mondays from 8 to 5. And what I got to do was very limited because of patient confidentiality. So that's also why I don't have a lot of pictures. But what I did get to do, I got to observe echo machines. I got to watch a nurse test a pacemaker. I got to listen in on collaborations, as well as work with medical students who were extremely helpful in just helping me understand everything that was going on. But I also got to listen to the doctors actually talk to patients, as well as 2 who were diagnosed with SVT. Now I'm going to tell you about my most memorable time during my internship, but first you have to understand what heart valves do. Heart valves are located between the atriums and the ventricles, and that's what happens when the heart actually pumps blood. The valves open and the blood goes from the atriums to the ventricles. So the story I'm going to tell you involves a little girl who I'm going to refer to as 4 Procedure Summer. The reason she's called 4 Procedure Summer is because between the summer between her 5th grade year and her 6th grade year, she spent her summer receiving 4 different procedures to fix a heart valve defect. In the end result, she ended up receiving a mechanical pig valve that looks something like this. Now, this was only a temporary fix to her problem. It's not going to last. But when I asked her what she most looked forward to after her surgery, like what she was most proud of being able to do now, she said she was glad she got to ride her bike again, and she was allowed to swim on her swim team again. All of these things that we take for granted in every day, like riding bikes and going to picnics, this little girl this is her most prized accomplishment. And that drives the force of me me wanting to go into the emergency medicine field. I want to help other people, like 4 Procedure Summer, beat the odds. my community service. When I was researching, I found a lot of recommendations that told me that in addition to treatment, I also needed to incorporate a heart-healthy diet. But what is a heart-healthy diet? So my mentor was Chef Lincoln Marquis here at Louisa County High School, and I worked with him to help understand what a heart-healthy diet is. Like, I know what a healthy diet is. Don't stay away from carbs and sugars and calories, but they're all so good. But so what's a heart-healthy diet? Well, it turns out that it's all really similar to your Mediterranean diet, which limits blood fats and red meat. Yes, that includes your steaks and hamburgers, guys. It limits sugars. It also limits, it wants you to eat mostly ground foods, like food that comes from the ground, not ground processed. So like fruits and vegetables and whole grains. So my one goal out of this entire community service project was to just understand and be able to tell other people what a heart-healthy diet was, but I got so much more than that. Going into the culinary, I got to experience all sides of this occupation. Not only did I get to cook, which you guys actually ate today, my lunch is my legacy. My lunch that you guys just ate was my community service project. All of it was heart healthy, and no, that does not counterbalance the McDonald's you ate for yesterday for breakfast. But in addition to being able to cook, I got, that's what I needed earlier, but we're okay. But in addition to being able to cook everything, I got to see the management side of it. So I joined the culinary management competition here at Louisa County High School. And what I have to do is I have to create a successful restaurant. This includes interior design. This includes the design of the floor layout, the color of the walls, what color the tiles are, or even if you have tiles on the floor. I also had to create a menu with descriptions costing at 33% profit rate. And as well, I had to make up 2 marketing tactics and so much more. And I could not get any of this done without the other girls and guys on that management team. So these are just a couple of things that we did going through on management. So this is the display board that they're actually using to compete on Friday. They'll go to Williamsburg and compete in the Pro Start competition with this board with a couple of adjustments. They're not quite finished yet. And the actual name of the restaurant that we came up with, Rapscallions, Seafood and Swine. So the name of the restaurant actually means mischievous people and pirate. So we came up with a slogan for this restaurant as one of our tactics, as well as a radio commercial and a takeout menu. So Rapscallions, test the waters. So seafood and swine means that we serve either seafood or any kind of pig product with each meal or appetizer. All right. And then my legacy is also part of my community service. This is me prepping and making everything with the help of some other people. This is me helping or making everything. On the far right are the phyllo cups that the shrimp were in. Those are the ones that are already done and they're in the warmer so it doesn't get cold. This is the shrimp that one of my friends was helping me toss in the roux. This is the gazpacho that you guys ate with your sandwiches. And then this is what your sorbet looked like before it was made to a sorbet and then melted. Looking forward, I got accepted into Longwood going on a biology major where I will also probably major in psychology so that I can go into emergency medicine. Like I said earlier, I want to help other people beat the odds of not making it through anything. But I'm not only going to include my looking forward, I'm going to include my sister's looking forward because this project was inspired by her and it's all about her. I asked the same questions to Gracie as I did for procedure summer. What are you most looking forward to now that you've completed your ablation, now that you've survived. She's like, I'm just glad I can dance again. I'm like, Gracie, come on, you gotta tell me more. I gotta fill up the spot. And she's like, okay, I'm glad I get to ride roller coasters again, because she couldn't ride roller coasters for her birthday when she wanted to. And she's glad she can still obsess over Matt Lauer. I want to say thank you to both of my mentors, because they were extremely helpful in helping me understand what I'm going to do with my future, as well as what's going on around me. I want to thank the management team, because I could not have gotten any of that done by myself, because they're just great people. Like, it helps me just interact with people other than my governor school kids, and as well as Christian, who is also a senior at Louisa, but he helped me and tolerated me when I was doing my community service for my cooking. Are there any questions?
Can I jump to your research when you were looking up, when you said that you decided, I mean, you concurred, I guess, with other people that was the most effective treatment? And
This is my preference. Like, my opinion is that this is the most successful, but I've also talked with doctors when I was at my internship, and this is the only thing they suggest. They don't suggest you not going on treatment if you have major risks. They don't suggest medications, because they're not a long-lasting, permanent cure. Ablation is the only cure because it uses scar tissue, which electricity can't go through scar tissue.
so that helped you
Yeah,
come to that
this
conclusion
helps
as well.
Yes.
And have other surgeries been as successful?
Not nearly as successful. There are other successful treatments like pacemakers, but then again, you also have to live with that, and you have to go to doctor visits to get them tested regularly, as well as ICDs.
I'm asking questions. I mean, have you seen other evidence besides your sisters of have been just as successful?
Well, like I was saying, sorry, that came out wrong, but
No.
yeah, but pacemakers and ICDs are successful. I'm not here to tell you that they aren't. I'm saying that in my experience, which is the only one that I have with my little sister, this is the most successful she had, because she had the no treatment. She did have the medications, but this is what she had. But there are ICDs are successful, which are kind of like pacemakers, but pacemakers are also successful. I'm not here to tell you that they're not. I'm not here to tell you that.
This is rated.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And thank you for accepting us.
Thank you.